I am really excited about today because what we're going to share is just hacks and tools and tricks and shortcuts, efficiency ideas, things that you guys have figured out to make social media easier for you, whether that's easier or faster or makes it so that you feel more consistent with your efforts. It's sort of like helped you, and it can help you in just the teeniest way, or it can be this like grand improvement, right? But I want us to share those kinds of things. So I'll kick us off, and then we'll just go around the room here, the screen, and each person, if you can share one or two, that would be great. I'm gonna steal one that Jacqueline shared with me, so I hope I'm not stealing one of hers.
Oh, I typed mine already. You brat.
How many do you have?
I have one.
Uh-oh, you better come up with a new one because I bet you I'm stealing yours, girl. Okay.
You brat.
This one was seriously a game changer for me. Game changer. I can't even believe it. Okay, so if you have an iPhone and a Mac, yeah. Yes. Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah, that's so jagged. Yep, exactly. Okay, so here's the thing. If you have a MacBook or a Mac computer and an iPhone, you can type what you want your post to say in like a doc, like a Google Doc, let's say, on your computer or your laptop, where it's easier because you've got your keyboard. And then you can highlight it and copy it, grab your phone and hit paste on your phone, and the two talk. So it knows. So like this is great for the really long story forms or like the really long posts. I don't know about you, but I like get typos galore when I'm trying to use my phone, right? When I'm trying to type something, and it just takes 10 times longer, 100 times longer, easily. So by typing in your Word doc, one, it will like alert you to errors and that kind of thing. Copy it. You literally just grab your phone and paste it, and it's there. I can't believe it. It's revolutionary. Okay. Revolutionary. So that's one of mine. And we're all going to take a turn to kind of go around and just share an efficiency. We're going to have Jacqueline go last because she's got to come up with a new one now since I just stole hers. I'm so sorry, Jacqueline. I can't help it. Girl, that was a game changer. I do have a couple of others too that I'll share, but I'll wait till everybody else goes just in case it gets used up by somebody else. So I'm just going to like read out 3 people out at a time, and I'm going to go based on how you guys are on my screen. So Julianne, you'll go next, then Heather, and then Catlin. And again, I want to be really clear. This does not have to be something that's like revolutionary. It can be something really small. You're like, hey, this is something that helped me. Just maybe that will help somebody else. Okay. So we want to share these kinds of tips and tricks today. And then at the end, let me see, okay, she's not on yet. There was a question in the group. So if she hops on later, I'll tackle that question at the end of the meeting. So Julianne, why don't you go first? What is a trick or a tip that you can share?
So I need a little leadway into this.
That's fine.
When I was first starting, I was completely confused on how to do it and what to do. So I made up for myself a scheduled timeline of theme days. So for example, and they weren't necessarily on specific days, but in my task calendar, I had one day was going to be a quote, one day was going to be an engagement question, one day was going to be a day in the life. What I've now found out is through my Kolbe assessment with Michael is that I'm a strategic planner, and that's how I work best is by having a plan. So
yeah, so you've got like some structure. It's not you don't have every post exactly written out and everything well in advance. You have the theme days, which provides some direction, some like kind of focus to your thoughts for the day, and then it gives you a stepping stone.
Correct.
I love that. And how many themes did you have? Do you remember, or do you still do the same?
I think I have 6 total. I don't post that often, but I have 6 total. So I kind of rotate them around.
Okay, and what are the 6? Do you mind sharing? And if you can't recall all of them
I
right now,
can
maybe just some of
find
them.
out in a second. Hold on one second while I open up.
Because I'm sure these are all ones that we can all get some inspiration from.
So one is definitely quotes.
Okay, good. Quotes. You said a
And
question, like an engaging question.
an engaging question.
Day in the life of.
A day in the life is another one.
And is that a day in the life of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, of the job.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
speak,
Oh, it was
of
not
what
a
I'm
client
doing.
though, but yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Then I have Testimonial Tuesday.
Oh, good.
And then I have, what's the other one? Educational.
Mm.
And then just a promotion day.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And even if a person just had used one of those, right, to at least do something weekly, I think that that's brilliant. So great addition. Thank you, Julianne. It's great. Heather, feel free really quickly, you guys, if you hear something you like, leave some comments, tell the person thank you. Let's, encourage everybody to share. So if you're like, ooh, I'm going to use that, or ooh, I love that part of it or something, keep the chat going. So, okay, Heather, you're up.
So I actually posted one last night in the group. I had received as like a freebie a doc that someone had started that had groups in it and a posting schedule of when you were allowed to share in that group. And it made me think that I should go through all the groups that I was in and add them to this doc with like what I was allowed to do and how I wanted to participate in them. And so I just basically added to this Google Doc a hyperlink to the group with the group name, when and how you can promote in that group. And then also, like, if there's no promos in the group, I wrote like how I wanted to participate. So I had a section of the doc that was all groups that I would just go in to just be seen and like add value. So I'm going to try to make myself, I literally just did all that yesterday. So the next step is for me to make a schedule on how I want to go forth and do that. The other thing that I did is I started, I put 2 of the tools together that I talked about a bit earlier in the social media marketing. It was that content calendar that I shared the link to that had the freebie on how to organize your content for the year. And I took another Grace, oh, what is her name? Well, the lady that has the Doer's Way, Grace, I can't remember her last name, but she had a challenge that was like a group doing challenge, and she gave a calendar to organize your posts. And so basically it's a calendar and it has a drop down menu so that you can, Grace Lever, yeah, thanks, Kat. And you can say the type of post, but you also had a way to be able to add to it. So I went back and I did all of my posts that I had done from January and February, and I added the hyperlinks into that calendar so that I can start to build a content calendar.
That's brilliant. So like this time next year, instead of like coming up with stuff, you've got them right there. That's genius. That's really, really smart. These are great. I feel like I'm going to take a little bit of everything that's said so far, and we're like 10 minutes into this. So this is great. I love it. That's really smart, Heather. Really smart. Because a lot of the content, I mean, we have themes by the month and we will share a lot of the same stuff and we repeat it year after year. We really do. And people don't notice, honestly. Like on our physical fitness page, it's just, they don't notice because they might only see 1 out of every 5 things you post. And so the next year they'll see another thing. So, and even if they have seen it before, they're in a completely different place in their life with their money, that sort of thing. And so it's going to land very differently too, even if they have. So, too funny. Yeah. Thank you, Heather. That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Kat.
Hello.
Hello.
So mine is kind of, I guess, an extension of Julianne's. That I heard on Clubhouse that they were talking about for Instagram specifically, that people really only go back and look at like the last 9 to 12 squares and that you can basically recycle your themes in your posts every 9 to 12 squares, because there's not going to be as many people who will go all the way back to the beginning unless they're like really nerdy like I am. So having themes of like, if you've got 9 or 12 squares, just rotating between many of the ones that Julianne already said, and then things like a picture of yourself and other, ideas that you have, and just have like every 9 squares is going to be a picture of yourself. Every 9 squares on this next one is going to be the quote, and cycling through that way. So a little alternative to the themed days, but it just kind of has a pattern to it.
I love that. And I think it's super important that like we are sharing all of these little nuances, because yeah, it's similar to Julianne's idea, but it's different. And the reality is that we're all going to look at this problem, if you will, or this task, and want to bite it off a different way, right? So somebody might be like, "Ooh, I like that way," or another person might be like, "Oh, I like Julianne's way better." So I think that it's all brilliant. I think it's so cool. So great idea. And I did not know that. So 9 to 12 posts back. It's funny because, I don't know if you guys did this, but I just pictured myself like, is that what I do? Like, and I'm kind of like, oh, I think I do, unless I'm like really researching somebody and like I'm about to hire them, then I might scroll for a while, just to kind of see what their journey has been like. And like how consistent have they been with their messaging or something like that. But for the most part, like, I don't think I would care if I saw similar posts repeated. So interesting. Thank you. All right, next 3 are going to be Jacqueline, Jessica, and Sherry. So Jacqueline, did I give you enough time?
Yeah, I came up with like 8 different hacks.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
and
How
I took
about
notes at the same time. So I'm not going to share them all, but
share 2 and then we'll
Rat,
circle back.
the game changer one was my copy paste from a Mac. So you keep calling that your hack, but I would just like, for the record, to share.
I'm pretty sure I said I got it from you. I started sharing it by saying that. So I wasn't sure if you were going to, I figured you have a million hacks. Like I have one, and it's Jacqueline shared it with me. That's the only one I got. So let me have it, girlfriend. Let me have it. No.
My first one is not a hack so much, more I would say a tip. And this is just something I'm noticing that because I analyze our insights on Instagram every week. So I'm looking at like what posts are performing the best and things like that. One thing I'm noticing on Instagram is that pictures of us are performing way, way better than any kind of infographic, anything with like typed content on it. And I don't know that that's an across the board thing on Instagram, but I think the note is to check your own insights each week and look for those trends, and you'll start to notice things like that. So the other thing that I really like to do on Instagram specifically is rotate my calls to action. So I really like to focus on like, where are the places we're trying to drive people? So for us, one of them is our newsletter, one of them is our podcast, one of them is our Facebook group. So none of it is necessarily like things that they have to pay for or anything like that. The other one's our debt quiz, which feeds to our newsletter. And so I try to rotate, like, what's the main thing I'm going to be focusing on asking them, like in my stories, hey, have you checked this out yet? Which, to be completely transparent, we are in FCA launch mode and my stories have like gone to shit. Like I am not really posting the stories right now, but when I do post the stories, this is what I do. So yeah, so that would be one thing. Another thing is like saving all of your posts in a Google Doc so that you can copy and paste them again later. So I literally just type them up in a Google Doc. Wait, Kelsa, everything except FCA has gone to shit. Yeah. And so I type all of my posts. Anytime I'm about to post something to Instagram, I copy and paste it into this one massive Google Doc. I don't have it organized at all. It's literally just listed by date, so that like, if I'm like, hey, I haven't posted in a while, maybe I can just go back and pull an old post and like literally just copy and paste some of the old content back onto Instagram again. So I'll stop there, but I've got more if we, still have time.
Question, Jacqueline, a question on for a detail for that. So when you say you save it on a Google Doc, are you saving the picture as well as like the info, or just info?
Just the text. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Text and hashtags. So I will post hashtags as the first comment because I'm wordy and I typically hit that 2,200 character limit like very easily. So I will like copy the text of my hashtags and put that in there too. But typically when I post hashtags, it's as a comment instead of like part of the original caption. So
does anyone know along with that, like, does it matter where the hashtags go, like first comment or the post, or is it just as long as you're using the hashtags, it doesn't really matter? Or is there a preference? Anybody know?
Everything I've read, it doesn't matter. It's just like
Okay.
personal preference, basically.
Got
yeah,
it.
in
Okay.
terms of like performance, I don't think
Yeah.
it matters.
Got it. Okay. I
yeah.
was just curious.
Sherry, what do you do? Are yours at the bottom or yours in a comment?
At the bottom.
Okay. But you're not as wordy as I am, so.
Sometimes I am, although I just like Instagram lets you be way wordier than LinkedIn. So if I try and repurpose something to LinkedIn, it's like shows me how many extra characters I have to take out. It's frustrating.
Mm.
One thing too for the hashtags, like I just have a note doc on my phone with all the hashtags, and I have like some fitness hashtags, and then I have personal finance hashtags, and then I have ones that are like for financial coaches specifically. So I just copy that into the post. I think that's probably a hack that most people use, but by golly, I'm taking credit for it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Jessica.
So most of my tips are about LinkedIn. If anyone's on LinkedIn,
Let's hear them. Yeah. Let's hear 'em.
But actually one is I keep all of my LinkedIn posts in one Google Doc because I am also too lazy to like organize it by anything else. And I will also scroll back and be like, what haven't I talked about in a while? Let me talk about, oh yeah, leaving law. That sucks. But I take my, like the meat of my LinkedIn post and I will convert it into an email to my list, but I will include an image of like a fun comment from my LinkedIn post. I'll block out the name of the person and their image, but just to give people a sense that this is an interactive conversation, and those emails, I've had good traction from those, and it gives me something else to talk about than just my own nonsense constantly. So that's a nice kind of like cross population. And if you are on LinkedIn, you should definitely be connecting with anybody who comments on your posts, because those are the people who are going to engage with you, and you want their audience to see you. And so whenever somebody comments on my post, I have my teenager as my virtual assistant for LinkedIn. So he goes through and checks all the people who have commented on all of my posts in the past week and tries to connect with any like second level connections that, somebody I'm not already connected with. And so they're already interested in what I'm doing. So it doesn't seem super creepy, but then I'll know that I'll get in front of all of their connections. And that's how I've been able to kind of grow the eyeballs that get on my stuff.
That's so smart. And I think one of the things you said that is a total tip or strategy without you even meaning it is your teenage kid could do that task, right? Like it could be anybody. So a significant other who sees that you're busy and wants to help out, or whatever the case may be, a sibling or a good friend or something. So yeah, I think that's brilliant. Something like that is a task anybody could do, right? So
yeah, that is very delicatable.
Yes, delegatable. Yes, exactly. All right, Sherry. These are so good, you guys.
Okay, so I just found this when you're talking about hashtags, it sparked this. There is an app called, let me just get it here. HishHash, and you can copy, so like the hashtags you have in your notes, because this is what I was doing too, you can take them and set up those different categories in this app, paste the hashtags you already have, and then it will suggest other hashtags for you. And say you've got this health and fitness one and you've added hashtags, so you've now got 60 in there, you just hit shuffle and it populates 30 of them for you. And then you just copy and paste that into your post.
Brilliant. And is it HISHHASH? HishHash?
Yeah, it's like a light pink square with the hashtag in it.
HishHash. Brilliant. That is so good to know. Very cool.
Learned it on Clubhouse.
Awesome.
And then,
oh, you got another one. Good.
Okay, for anybody who's doing like reels or wants to do reels, and you're never like, you always like, if you watch something, you're like, that's a really good idea, I want to use that sound, save the sound, and then it's there for you when you have time to do reels.
Nope, you gotta wait. What? Sorry. Say this again. Like break this down for me even more. So save the sound. How? What do you
So
mean?
if you're watching a reel, you
Yeah.
can see down at the bottom like what sound they're using. And if you click on that, it brings up like other people that have used that sound, and there's a spot at the top. You can hit save. So then when you go to do a reel, you look for your saved stuff, and it's just all of the saved ones that are already there.
Got it. Oh, cool. Oh, good to know. So good. These are all really good. Are you guys learning a couple of tricks here and there? Yeah.
I'm sorry, when you say a sound, is that like a song? Is it like ducks in the background? Like what is it?
So literally whatever their sound is. So if it's them talking and you're like, this is a really good idea, I want to lip sync the shit out of this, like you can just copy what they're saying. Or it could be a song that you want to remember to do, or they've taken something from like a TV show that's entertaining that would match up with what you want to do a video on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait, what's the sound thing?
And if you're not,
what am I pushing at the bottom? What's at the bottom? It's a sound, what?
so if you go to, I'm going to try and do this without having.
I know. I'm like,
So if you go to reel and you're watching one, like at the bottom, you can see like the audio. So it's got like little like sound things beside. So it's like right above the heart. Can you guys see it?
no. But how do I go to reels?
So do you have any reels on your? Okay, so go to my profile.
It should be at the bottom of your main screen. There's a house, a search, and then the reels.
Oh, Instagram keeps changing their.
No, I have a plus sign there.
Oh, okay. They moved mine then.
Oh, I know where reels are. So now when I go to your profile, I have the little grid. I have the video thing, and then I have the TV screen.
So it's the second one.
Yeah. Okay. I do have that. I knew I had seen it at some point. I just couldn't remember where I was getting it from.
Yeah. So it's the bottom line there. If you just click on that, and then at the top here, there's a spot where you can click save audio.
Oh my God, yours is really good. I can't stop listening to it right now. It's so good, Sherry.
Keep running up my views. Oh, and there's another tip.
So mine,
make your text so that it's like, oh crap, I missed that. I got to watch it again. And that pushes your views up, and then it pushes to more people.
I will just tell you that my phone definitely looks very different than yours. I have to actually click on the image. Like it's a couple more steps than what you were describing, but I did get to save audio. So I think for everybody else, just maybe click around to a few spots until you see save audio, and you'll find it eventually. But that's a great hack. That's good to know. So you can just save it for inspiration or for future or something like that. That's really.
And then I block out time to do reels, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm going to do reels about. I'm like, oh, look at these sounds. These are entertaining. I'm going to just go and.
That's awesome.
Sherry, can you repeat that last little piece you said about they want to go back and watch this again thing?
Oh, so if you've got a song that's like the clip is short and you're trying to put text to it, for the longest time, it's like, oh, they're not gonna be able to see this. I need to try and make it bigger. But if you have it so that they can't quite read it all, they're like, oh crap, I didn't catch that. They have to go back through and watch it again. I try not to be too big of a dick, but
okay. So
that was the most frustrating thing to me when I first started reels, is how I would put text in the corner of a screen and then nobody would see it after it published to the main feed. Yes, Catlin, thank you for nodding your head, because I was extremely frustrated at the hours I spent going into my reels and then no one could see it.
Good to know. That's a great time saver for those of us who don't do a lot of reels, but maybe will to not do that. So good. Okay, so next up we'll have Maritza, April, and Sarah. So we'll do those three.
Okay, so I know everybody's doing Google Docs, but I use it on Excel and just have different sheets, one for my engagement. And so I'm going to be doing like a month in advance. So week 1, week 2, and like different themes that I'm going to be working on. And so I kind of have some already, like some engagement points already pre-written, but then I also have some other ones that are just like kind of brainstorming. So it's just words that I need to get done. But that's kind of basically all I'm doing. I'm just sticking to Facebook for now. That's what I got.
That's great. I mean, I really think pick one platform and do it really well, right? So, you can post periodically on other things if you want to, or if you feel inspired, but, don't feel like, oh, I'm only doing Facebook right now. I mean, I think you can get great business and great engagement and stuff from just Facebook. So I think that that's great. Just like you can from just Instagram and just LinkedIn and just Clubhouse, I think now. So yeah, that's great. Good. I love the idea of a Google Sheet with different tab for each week. Got it. And do you have a theme for each week or no? Like a style. So one's like a quote or a question, anything like that? No, that's you don't have to.
No, I do. I just don't. I'm like switching it a little bit this week. So let me see. I do have it written down, but I haven't done it. So I'm trying to do not only what I say I'm going to do, but like what's working for me. Okay. So it's not really a theme per se. It's just more about. So I've been having issues just with posting. I share stuff, but so for me, it's focusing on like the engagement post just to create that interaction with people. And then having those other posts where it's more about what I'm sharing, what the pain points are and what I'm helping them. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now.
Beautiful. Good. Awesome. Love that. Thank you. April.
Hi, everybody. So for me, I haven't gotten to the point where I have like scheduled any posts, but I am trying to post consistently. So it's just my thing that I do with my coffee every morning, same time, every day. No, and it's just kind of gotten to be routine. And Laura, with the great last name, copy gal that was.
Oh yes, I don't know her last name, but yes, it's M something.
It's a great name. Yes, Laura M. So I was kind of clicking around her stuff, and I don't know if I could find the video again, but she had something called Facebook Audience Insights, where if you just type that in your browser search, it comes up and you can put in all of the pain points or the interests of your ideal client, and it will give you the lists of the groups that they are likely in. I've only messed around with it just a wee little bit, but oh my goodness, it was so crazy. It could be there's a couple different there's interest, and then there's like I don't know if you're like lawyers, you could type that in the career category. Like there's a few different things on the left side, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. If you are able to find it or you get back to it at some point, share it in the group. Okay. But like you said, Facebook Audience Insights.
Absolutely. Just those 3 words in the Google search and it will bring you right to it.
That's amazing. That's brilliant. Because I do think engaging. So I'm presenting next week in someone's Facebook group. Mid-March, I'm presenting in someone else's Facebook group. I do think it's a great way to get in front of an audience, just like, bringing Laura in, right, to have her present to you guys. I mean, I think it's a value add. It's beneficial for everybody. It's like, to me, a really great segue in. It's like a very warm, nurturing audience. And so that would be amazing. Thank you, April. I think that's a brilliant tip. Thank you. Let's see, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi.
I am new to non-existent on social media. So actually what I was doing was just anytime I was inspired by a podcast or a book or an article or literally anything, something that I thought would be applicable to a client, I've just been tracking them in my Samsung Notes, and then dumping them into a Google sheet as well. I have so many more questions than I have tips at any point in this call or any of those. Is there any appropriate time for that?
Yeah, if we have time, absolutely. And then also we have another mastermind scheduled for like Q&A mastermind type session stuff too. I don't know the date off the top of my head. I'll have to go look. And then we have No, don't apologize. I mean, if we have time to do everything, we will. And I will also say that like really, if you're just starting out, that's also a great tip of like, here, just start saving things that you see, right? Like that way you're like, what are you resonating with? What are you connecting with? I think that that's still really insightful. I'm sure, Sarah, that you're not the only person who's brand new, really and truly. So, and we all start someplace, and we all start on a new platform at some time where it's like, we're brand new. Maybe we're not brand new to Instagram, but we're going to be brand new to Clubhouse. We're going to be brand new to something else. And so just that kind of like, here's what I did first when I didn't know what else to do. Like, that's still a really great tip.
I'm really just brain dumping. And honestly, it was not with the intention of doing social media in the beginning. And then as I, kept doing it, they just started to feel like potential social media posts. But I'm sure, again, that's kind of the beginner way to
save questions for right now. We'll get to whatever we can at the end. And then also whatever we don't get to, post them in the group. And my recommendation is to post each question as a separate post.
Okay.
It's easier for people to like just comment on that one versus like write really long answers to try and answer every question. Now it's just easier if I only have 5 minutes, I can answer one of the questions versus feeling like I'm missing the boat kind of thing.
You may see an onslaught from me.
Does anybody mind? Does anybody mind? No, nobody minds, right? At all.
Okay.
Right? So if anything, you're going to ask a question that another person didn't even realize they had, and they're going to get the answer too. So that's good. Okay, good.
Thank you.
So next up we have Christine, Renata, and then Nikki, and then Nikia. So those four, and then we'll get to, if you don't have your image up on the screen, then we'll do you last kind of thing. So Christine.
Yes. Okay. So you guys all it went over my head, this whole thing with the reels. I decided in the middle of that conversation to just know where you don't belong and where you don't have to worry about it and call it a day. One of the things that has helped me with tracking has been, I tend to get a lot better visibility and reach when kind of similar to what Heather's doing. There's a ton of like neighborhood groups around my area, and not just neighborhoods, but even towns that'll have like the town's quote word of mouth, and there might be like 15,000 people on the page, etc. And my own neighborhood has 14,000 people on it. And so a lot of them do the same thing Heather mentioned, where one day a week you can self-promote. And I keep that on my task list on my calendar of like which day is which. And what I realized is, if you post, this probably is not that big of a tip for anybody who's good at this stuff, but if I post directly, because there's a temptation to hop on and post directly in the group, but then I'll never see any of the stats. So instead, I have to throw the post in my own page, my business page, even though I know it will get like 0 reach in just putting it in my business page. And then I share it over to the neighborhood group. And now I can see, like, if I think to do it maybe a day ahead, I'll see like in 24 hours, I got a reach of like 30 on my business page. And then I put it in the group. And the next day I have a reach of like 600. And like, so I can really and I can see if there's clicks, I can see everything, but not if I post directly in the group.
I think you are discounting this, because that is a major tip, I think.
Okay, cool.
That's great. Well, I think it helps people to see that it's a business page, not just a person's opinion, right?
Yeah.
Just someone who's not an expert. So I think it's brilliant. And like you said, you can see that it is getting you somewhere. It's getting eyes are on it.
Well, because it also was really quick to show me some groups, like the reach was, how do I say, like per capita, if you will, like maybe a group that had 5,000 members was getting way more than half the hits of one that had 10,000. So it was able to see, okay, if I have to choose which one of these is better, and I would very often reuse them.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet.
Same week, it would almost be like, well, this is my campaign for the week. And I would put that same post in my business page and be like, oh, that town's page is getting it. This neighborhood's page, they're all getting it. And if there's some people who are in multiple groups, it's like what they say about advertising, you need to see it multiple times anyway. So
that's so smart. I think that's genius. I never would have thought of it.
Get carried away here.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant. I really do. So
thank you.
I think a lot of these are saving time and effort, right? Streamlining, which is super, super important. And second, we're repurposing content. So we're not working that brain creativity muscle all the time when we've already got really good content we can be using. We just need to repurpose it better. And these are all really great suggestions for repurposing what we already have. So brilliant. I love it.
Cool.
Renata.
Okay, so it's not going to be on social media because I'm failing at that this month. So I'm just not a huge social media person. I'm trying, but okay. But I do have a little digital hack for you guys. Maybe you guys already know it, but it's something that I love. So if you have an Apple, there's a thing called text replacement. You can go into your general, so go into your settings and then go into general and go down to keyboard. So settings, general, keyboard, and it says text replacement. And so if you go in there, you can hit a plus sign and do text replacement for anything. So for instance, for me, I get referrals through an organization, and every time a text comes through that I have a new referral, I click on it, I type the person's name in, and I put a couple letters in, and it data dumps like a paragraph in of all my information. And so I also have that for social media. You can put in 25 hashtags, and all you have to do is type one letter, or you won't want to do it one letter, but maybe like, SM1, and that would data dump all, or put all of those hashtags in your social media post or whatever you could use it for. So it's a quick way of, like, I have OMW on my way. I have my website. I have my email address for all my email addresses. I have my phone number. I can put like 2 strange letters and it'll data dump my phone number in there. And so you have to sort of remember some of them, but it develops a habit of just saving all the typing.
I love this. This is kind of like in Streak. Have you guys used snippets inside of Streak?
Yes.
It's kind of the same thing where you can type in a code word and it will automatically put the subject line in the email and populate the body of the email.
Right.
Now, you have to be careful, like you're saying, Renata is kind of alluding to this. So learn from this, because I've done this myself. If you choose a word, I always choose a word and a number together, because you're never going to type a word and a number together unless it's a code. So because if you were to type the word like hashtag, well, anytime you type the word hashtag, it's going to want to populate that whole thing. So you might want to do like #1 or #2 and like make it all one word sort of thing. And then that way it knows that's the shortcut. But yeah, that is, you know what else that would be really good for you guys is your social media direct message responses. So when somebody messages you, instead of like really trying to come up with like, how do I respond to this and all those types of things, like having a shortcut that gives, hey, here's what I do, here's where you should go, blah, blah, blah. Especially if you're doing a promo, like for our debt quiz, Jacqueline, like we get, messages or something and just a response that says, here's the link to it, as opposed to retyping it every time would be great. Or just my email address is such a pain in the ass to type, honestly. Like,
and also I use all my links for all my scheduling appointments. So if I do my insight, I have all of those categorized too. So if I'm talking to somebody or emailing or on my phone, I can just hit a few letters and it puts the scheduling link right in there. So instead of having to go copy and paste it or whatever like that. So
I feel like that's one of those tips where I've always said that I hate being on my phone. Like I'm just not fast. I'm not a fast texter, that kind of thing. But I feel like these little hacks are going to make it so I feel more efficient. Like I'm not wasting my time, that sort of thing. So that's genius. Thank you.
Does anybody know if they have the same thing for a Samsung or a Google phone?
Oh yeah, good question.
I'm typing that in the chat right now.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Good. And I think everyone knows this, that you can like toggle between windows on your phone and that kind of thing, and it saves where you're at. It's not gonna, so like if you're in your Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you're typing a long post and you need to go someplace to copy your hashtags, you just go back into it and it's there. So I know some people might think that like, oh God, I gotta like type it all because I'm in here and I don't want to lose what I already wrote. That's not what happens. So just so you guys know, you can kind of toggle back and forth between apps on your phones. Okay, good. Love it. Okay, Nikki.
Hi, you guys have had some great tips. I'm excited. So I use mostly Instagram. My first one is video for pics, like selfies. I know somebody said to me at the retreat, like, you have a bunch of pictures of yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take those of myself all the time. So what I will do is set up my phone in like a, what are those called? A tripod. And you can set it on video and record a video and then take screenshots and use them as a picture. So like how Jacqueline was talking about, people seeing your face helps, I think, humanize you, right? So that's my secret for getting ready once and having pictures of yourself. So I do that, and I also batch my reels. So I will film like 5 or 6 in one day. So I don't have to get ready every single day, and you can save them in your drafts. You don't have to post them all on that day. So I'll record them, save them, and then sprinkle them out throughout the week. Does that make sense?
So do you record them like just on your video camera on your phone, or you record them inside of Instagram?
In Instagram, because I want them to match the music, the
Oh,
audio
got
that Sherry was talking about.
So
Save those audio.
And you can save it as a draft and not post it.
Yes. So it'll say continue at the bottom, and it'll say save to, and then you save to your drafts.
Oh, is that what you do too, Sherry? You batch them and save them like that?
It's sometimes if it's a song, I'll go back and I'll just delete the text and let them hang out there for a while and then put different text in later. So it's one video, multiple reels.
Oh, yeah. You guys are so smart. Goodness gracious, this whole reels business, I tell you. Yes, Jessica.
Do you guys change outfits for the reels when you're batch videotaping them, or do you have like 5 reels in one outfit that you sprinkle across different days?
Sometimes. I don't always, because I feel like it matches my
I
color.
always change my
I was wondering. I'm fascinated that you guys have all this video.
I usually like add a sweater, take off a sweater. Like I don't have like 6 outfits lined up.
Yeah.
I have like 6 outfits lined up, and they just perpetually sit on my bedroom floor because I do this so often.
My office closet has a whole bunch of like supplies and symposium supplies in it. And then it also has like 10 shirts and hangers that I literally will grab a shirt, put it on, do a recording, and then put it away and change. So.
Oh no, I'm definitely thinking of like batching my outfits. Like when I have my first meeting with a client, I'm going to wear this sweater. And my second meeting is going to be this sweater, so that I remember that I have not worn the same shirt to the same client every single time I showed up to talk to someone.
Do you notice if they're wearing the same shirt?
I'm more particular than they are. I don't know. Yeah, I think they're paying attention. I don't know. Yeah.
I would never have, I don't think I've ever noticed your shirt before, Jessica, honestly. So unless, except for one day you were wearing scrubs. And I remember commenting about the scrubs, and that was only because I was like a little like, wait, what's happening here? But that was it. So
And now I can never wear them again, Kelsey.
all right. Thank you, Nikki. That was great. I did not know you could save them as a draft. That's really good. And setting up your tripod and batching them. That's brilliant. So any others? Good.
For myself.
Those were really good. I just didn't want to like move on. I
have like a list here.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll circle back. Okay, Nikita. Okay. No, good. Thank you.
I was like, please don't say your list yet. I've been hoping something would hold on, because I feel like y'all said all the 4 things I knew already. I will just say this is something that I just learned recently. I thought it was a good idea. If you post like some fun post, play around with what time of day that you post to see what gets you some engagement. And the reason you do the fun post is because people are more likely to comment, but it lets you know when they're on, like when they're actually on. Like I know when my audience is actually on Facebook, because they'll usually comment on a fun post, even if they never comment necessarily on my budget post. But so at least I know that that's when they're on. So then I schedule. I realized a lot of my people get on Facebook as soon as they get up or something. I don't know what they're doing, but because I'm asleep. So I actually started scheduling posts to come out in the morning. And then around the time when I'm waking up, and that way people will comment when they see it. And then I'm available to comment too, so that they get so that it shows, some immediate feedback for like that first set of people that comment on the post.
Got it. That's good. I did not know that. So very good. So, and do the statistics kind of tell you too, like when people are on the most, right? Because I think I've looked at those before. It's been a little while since I've looked at them, but it kind of tells you like the time of day that it's most popular.
Yeah, I've seen that for like my business page, but I'm like, this is what I do in my Facebook group.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right, let's see. Thank you. That's good. Good. Okay, who has, did I miss anybody who doesn't have their video camera on? I think we're good. I think everybody has been taken care of. So who wants to go again? So Jacqueline, do you have some more that you can share? I'll just call around and say no. If you don't have any, then just say no.
I have some more. Okay. So I thought I was going to get to tell you guys all that you can save a reel as a draft until Nikki there came in at the 11th hour and swooped. I'm just teasing. That actually I learned from Sherry, so I have to give her credit for that one anyway. All my reels tricks are from Sherry. Okay, so a lot of you might know this, but if you have a Facebook group, you can schedule posts in the Facebook group ahead of time so that they will just automatically post for you. Hello, a lot of the 21-day challenge posts are scheduled ahead of time, not using like Buffer, just like right in the native Facebook website is how you schedule a post. Another thing that I've been doing lately that's only in a group, Sarah, I don't think you can do it like on your general Facebook feed. The other thing I will do with Instagram is I post to Instagram from Facebook. So if you have a Facebook page that's connected to your Instagram account, the Facebook page has this area. I think it's called Business Suite. Is that right, Sherry? Is that what it's called? Is that how you do it? No, yes, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, you can go in there and you can post directly to Instagram from Facebook, which I like because I can schedule it in there. And I don't like using third-party scheduling tools. I'm just not a fan. We've had a lot of glitches with ours personally. And so I see a lot better traction there, and they just updated it too, which is really cool. It has some new features in Business Suite that will enable you to post to Facebook and Instagram at the same time, but like change up the text for the two posts, but still post them like together.
And where do you go to do this, Jacqueline?
So on your Facebook page, let me just look here.
On both computer and phone.
So I don't ever do any posting from my phone from Facebook to Instagram. So this would be just from the computer. So if I go to our Facebook page and then there's menu options on the left-hand side, you go to publishing tools. And then once you're in publishing tools, you click Business Suite, try Business Suite.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're in there, you click create post. And you'll see that the Facebook page is already check marked. You can also check mark your Instagram page, and you can type the exact same text, or on like the middle section, you'll see where it says customize, and you can change up the text between your Facebook post and your Instagram. So you guys might know that on Instagram, you can't share links in your captions, or at least not clickable, tappable links. So if like you want your Facebook post to have a link in it, but not your Instagram post, you can change the text just for the Instagram part. And that feature, I feel like dropped in the last, I don't know, like week, because it wasn't there last week and now it's there. So
awesome.
That's been kind of cool to play around with. So those are some. I have a reel tip that I learned. Does anybody want to learn about posting a reel to your Facebook story? First of all, does anybody share from their Instagram stories onto their Facebook stories? Because I get great engagement on my Facebook stories too. Okay, so we want to do that. Sherry's giving me the iffy look there. I would try it and see how it is, because a lot of like my personal friends and family will interact on Facebook story over Instagram story. And I've had like since I just started posting over to Facebook stories from Instagram, I've had like 4 or 5 personal family members and friends reach out and be interested in coaching and sign up for Q&A calls and things like that. So you know how on Instagram stories, some things do not post over to your Facebook story. So like a reel, if you share that to your Instagram story, does not even show up on your Facebook story. But if you have like saved your reel in the reel area, you can download the reel to your phone, but it will take out the audio, right? But what you can do is you can post that reel onto your Facebook story, like within Facebook, and put the music back in with Facebook. So obviously if you're recording your own original audio, that's not going to work super well. But if you're using like a song or something like that, you can just throw it over and then your reel will show up on your Facebook story. And Facebook doesn't have a 15-second cutoff. They have like a 25-second cutoff. So it will show almost the full length reel too. So those are some. I'll let somebody else have a turn, then we can come back if they don't share my other ones.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. So Julianne, Heather, Catlin, either of you three have any more tips that you'd like to share? No, Julianne, Heather, or Catlin? You don't have to. You can say no if you don't have any. I just thought I'd ask.
I have a question for Jacqueline about because I don't seem to have Business Suite. Is Creator Studio the same as Business Suite?
Are you on Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
Are you on your page?
Yeah, it was my page. Yeah, I was looking for it when you were talking about it.
So read me the options going down the left-hand side, Heather.
Hold on. So when I clicked on publishing tools, I have story archive, published posts, scheduled posts, drafts, expiring posts.
Okay, sorry. I thought you're already on the next screen. So where my business suite is like right in the middle of the right-hand side. So if you click publish posts, and then there's a blue button that says try business suite. Do you see that blue button?
No, I think mine is totally different because I was just on my page and I clicked under the menu.
Mine's in the same place that you're saying, Jacqueline. Like mine, that's where so I'm wondering if, you know how sometimes they roll things out to some people, but not everybody for a while or something.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah. Heather, let's hop in a breakout room and then you can share your screen and I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Jacqueline, you're a co-host, so you can do that, right?
I think so.
Okay, if not, let me know.
We'll find out.
Jessica, Sherry, or April, you three are up next. Any other tips that you'd like to share? Jessica's like, oh girl, no, I'm just kidding.
All my stuff is LinkedIn. I feel so boring in this crowd.
We'll take LinkedIn tips, Jessica.
The LinkedIn tip that I have is post on the weekend. People think that folks are not on LinkedIn on the weekend. The folks who are on LinkedIn in the weekend are unhappy about something. And they're scrolling LinkedIn. So you know that they are ripe for some stuff.
Oh, I feel like I got to give you snaps or something for that. That is so
right. Like I get really good engagement on the weekends because my people are like already depressed, right? And now they're probably working on the weekend and they're like feeling even more upset about it. And then I'm posting about, wow, wouldn't it be great if you didn't have to work on the weekend? And they're like,
that is so smart. Yeah, I love that.
And you don't have the competition because there aren't that many people posting on LinkedIn on the weekend. So you really can get much better engagement. And so it's kind of like,
yeah, Sarah's got a question maybe I think about that or a comment. I'm not sure.
I have a question. Two questions. How often do you post on LinkedIn? And I may have that in my notes somewhere because I know we've had this conversation, but how often? And is there any sort of scheduling there, or do you just have to go on live and post it when you post it? You know what I mean?
So with LinkedIn, I don't know if you can save a draft. You can certainly use a third-party scheduling software, but it is better if you post directly from LinkedIn because LinkedIn doesn't like other software coming in and like bugging it. But that being said, I literally do my stuff in a Google Doc and then I copy and paste it over when I'm ready to do it. I post probably about 5 days a week. And I switch off between whether I'm doing it mostly business days or whether I am doing some weekend posting. I try not to post 7 days a week. I don't have that kind of bandwidth. Like I just can't handle it. But sometimes if I'm pushing something, I post twice a day, but don't ever do more than that and spread out your posts because LinkedIn is like super sensitive and weird about spamming. And so they have to be like 8 hours apart. And you don't want to do it all the time, but it does reward consistency. So all of my LinkedIn coaches have told me like, don't disappear from LinkedIn because then they will punish you. You need to show up consistently, but not too much because then they'll punish you. And so, just be mindful of that.
We just cracked the code on why I don't get good engagement on LinkedIn because I'm not consistent at all. So awesome. Thank you for that. That's really good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Where did I leave off? Sherry, April, either of you have some tips? Sherry?
Yeah, I've got one, or a couple maybe. Post polls and polls and like quizzes in your stories on Instagram. And that allows you to start the conversation with people. So if you say like, is your main focus like paying off debt or growing your savings? And they respond, like either of those responses is a perfect thing for you to like reach out. And it lets you start the conversation like in Instagram Messenger for people that have private profiles and you're not able to message because they started it by answering your poll. And then message people when they follow you if they've got open profiles. At the retreat last year, Jess said she was doing this. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. That's like too pushy. And then I started doing it and it's like, hey, thanks for following me. I appreciate the support. Do you know how you found me? And is there any way I can help you with like questions about starting a business or with your finances? And it's like that, how can I help you for following me as a thank you? And it's like, that's been a great client converter for me.
Love that. So smart. And so, just in service of people, which I think you're right, just makes it so easy to do that, reach out and engage and have that personal connection. So thank you, Sherry, for saying that, because that's not something I do. So thank you. And I think for those of you, like, I feel like my Instagram specifically has become a bit of like a hybrid between budgeting stuff and fitness stuff, which is good. I kind of wanted it that way. I mean, my username is Fiscal and Fit, go figure. And my business name is Fiscal Fitness. So it goes well together. So I think I can even just say like, do you have any questions about budgeting, or do you have are you on a health and fitness journey yourself or something like that? So almost just to kind of see like, what are you here for, or just to kind of spark a conversation. So great suggestion, Sherry. Thank you. Let's see, Sarah, Christine, or Renata, any other tips that you'd like to share? No? Okay. Nikia, Nikki, and Christine, any tips on social media hacks that you'd like to share?
I have a few more I can share.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear them. Okay, Instagram, Facebook stories. If you are talking in your stories, like whether you're teaching or just like having a conversation with your audience, always include a little bit of text, because a very large percentage, I don't know the number, of people listen or watch stories on mute. So if you don't put on there what you're talking about, they have no reason to unmute you and listen to you. So make sure you're giving them a little sneak peek. I'm talking about blah or whatever. I mean, you don't have to say I'm talking about it, right? Another thing I do sometimes when I'm talking to like other people or people who I've worked with before, they send me a DM, like something very informal. I'll screenshot it, block out their name and picture, and use that as like a testimonial, like love getting these kinds of messages. And that just gives you a little bit of social proof, and people are like, oh, well, here's some proof that she's like actually helped somebody else and can help me do the same. And I think that's it, other than what you guys have already shared.
Love it. Yeah, that's great. And Catlin says, yes, caption your videos too for accessibility purposes. Absolutely. The Threads app will caption your videos if they're 15 seconds or less, or stitch the clips. Awesome. So that's good to know. Thread app. We've got lots of apps and shortcuts here, so that's great. And then Nakia says she's all out of tips. Christine, I know you kind of joined late. I don't know if anybody filled you in on kind of what we're doing. We're just sharing some tips and tricks, things that people have figured out that make things faster for our social media efforts. So if you have anything to share, feel free. Nikki, you want to ask maybe one question? We'll wrap up with one question, then we'll probably hop off, and then we'll have you share your questions. Nikki, it was you, right, that had questions? No, Sarah. No, who had questions?
I think you're thinking of me.
Sarah, yes. Sorry, everything shuffled on my screen where everyone's heads are, and I was like going to, and it moved to Nikki. Sorry about that.
No, actually, I think my questions got answered in the tips. I mean, I'll have more that I can come up with, but the two that I wrote down while people were talking.
Brilliant. Okay, good. And now you guys are right next to each other on my screen, and you guys actually kind of look alike now that I'm seeing that for the first time. Okay, good. So, if you guys come up with more questions, please, post them in the group. Try to always, this is not just for this month, but always try to just post one question in one post. It is so much easier, I promise, to get more responses. Because again, if someone's got 5 minutes, they can quickly tackle that versus feeling like they can't answer all your questions sort of thing. So just a reminder, the social, Jacqueline, yeah.
I still have another really good tip.
Okay, go.
I've been saving. This is a game changer tip, you guys. Okay. So for those of you who hate writing, Google Docs will automatically transcribe your voice for you. Yes, this is a big one. So if you just open a brand new Google Doc, I forget where exactly the setting is, but you can Google it. Okay. Google how to like Google Docs transcribe for you. You just start talking and it will write down what you say. So like if you want to save yourself some time on typing or like sitting there and thinking, and you're a better like talker outer person, like some of us are, you can just do that and it'll transcribe for you, and then you can copy and paste it into a tip. That is something that I always forget to use. And every time I remember about it, I'm like, oh my God, I need to use this more. So yeah.
Yes. And Nakia says you can do that in Microsoft Word as well. And I will say for anybody who was at the symposium that had their Colby done, or if you've just had your Colby done with Michael separately, if you are a quick start, which I am a quick start, one of the sayings goes for quick starts is that we think with our mouth open. So in other words, we like to process what I want to say and to really like digest what I'm trying to put together those thoughts. I can't do it in my head and I can't write it out. I need to like talk about it. And I have found that transcribing thing works so much better for me, because if I sit down to try and write my thoughts, nothing comes out. But as soon as I start talking, it might not make a whole lot of sense, but then I can go in and just like clean it up, right? And all of my thoughts are there. Is talker outer grammatically correct? Everything is grammatically correct for Jacqueline, just so we're clear.
Did Sherry say that? Yeah. Oh, Sherry.
So Heather, what were you for the symposium? You were your follow through?
I haven't done one. No.
Oh, you weren't there? Oh, why did I think you were there?
Yeah, probably because I was thinking about it and then I didn't. Really? But I wanted to add on to Jacqueline's about transcribing. I listened to, it was somebody Marie Forleo had on forever ago about a copy tip. And the biggest thing that this lady had to say was that if you speak it, it's going to sound more like you. So I think her course was called like conversational copy or something like that. And that was such a huge thing for me because when I write, it sounds not like how I talk at all. And I have such a hard time with that. And I always forget to do that. But it's a good reminder. And I actually had seen that in Google Docs recently when I was looking for something. So I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So April says, I always sound way too formal when I write. I am the same way. And I think for me, I edit my sentence while I'm typing it, and then it stops my train of thought and it stops any flow. Like I can't like have a misspelled word in my sentence and just keep writing. So then it's like I'm stopping and starting and stopping and starting, where if I'm doing that transcription thing, I'll literally just be walking around and talking like I'm talking to Michael or I'm talking to Jacqueline or somebody, and then I go and clean it up after the fact. The other thing is I can't type as fast, and I'm a fast typer, but I can't type as fast as I think. So it really like makes me stall out on like what I'm trying to explore in my brain. So anyway, well, that is a wrap, you guys. I'm going to go have dinner with my kids. I love all of these tips. I hope you found like a handful of ones just to make your social media efforts faster, more effective, more efficient, all that kind of stuff. You know, we're all spending so much time on this. Let's, you know, make it the most productive time spent as possible. So just a reminder, we've got the paid advertising expert at the end of the month on the 26th. The event has been added. Please try to be live if you can, so you can ask questions. It's going to be just as great as the last expert. I'm so happy that we've been able to do that and bring in some people who know about things that I don't personally know about, like paid ads. He's going to cover Facebook ads, Google AdWords, that kind of thing. He's also going to talk about like what not to do if you do want to go down that route, how to maybe do some baby steps to get started if you want to do that. So it's going to be really, really good. And even if the only thing you get out of it is to say, yeah, I don't need to be doing paid ads, that's still really good confirmation or validation that you don't, it's one less thing to think about, right? So try to join live if you can. If not, no problem. The live feed will of course be in the group. And we will post this recording and any notes and that kind of thing in the group as well. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week. Have fun with your social media efforts, and we'll chat with you later. Bye, everybody.